Yo guys, what's going on? Life of Rio here, and I'm bringing you guys my Ash Seeking Shuriken build. Now, a lot of people's been asking me for my favorite solo build that I like to use with Ash, since I'm always running solos with him anyway, and this is that build, guys. So, overall, I've shown you guys my Ash Fatal Teleport up to level 700, my Smokescreen build up to level 500, my Bladestorm build up to level 600, and now this is Seeking Shuriken all the way up to 1200. So with this build, guys, this build would actually keep up life support faster and keep up your KPS, which is your kills per second, a lot more efficiently than all of the other builds. And the reason why is that because you're killing groups of enemy extremely fast. When I use this build, I like to use it with a personalized setup. So Seeking Shuriken, you need at least 145 power strength to acquire the maximum amount of power strength that you need to completely strip the enemy's armor. So remember, all you would need is a power drift and an intensifying combination to hit 145, and you will have the amount of power strength that you need to completely wipe their armor. So guys, this is going to be Avoid MOT Nightmare mode. Now, a lot of people hear me say MOT, and if you don't know what that means, MOT is Avoid Survival, which is the strongest and hardest content in the game currently at the moment. So if you guys haven't tried it, definitely check it out. And Nightmare mode made it even crazier because it takes away our shield and the enemy scaled 10 times faster. It was ridiculous. So as you guys can tell, I have no shields by my Ash. So also with this build, guys, the way how you're going to set it up, I like to use this build in conjunction with my primary weapon. And the way how that works is that Seeking Shuriken, whenever you throw Seeking Shuriken, it takes one hand to cast it, so you can reload while throwing it. You can shoot your primary weapon while throwing it at the same time as well. So it's really good with bows. It gives you an extra shot and all of that. You can take down nullifier bubbles with Seeking Shuriken or just regular Shuriken, period. So the thing what makes this build so awesome is that Seeking Shuriken is affected by, well, Shuriken period is affected by power range. It never used to be affected by power range, but after the change from Ash, a few updates ago, it's been affected by range. So when you use a negative build against it, it would affect it, but overall it doesn't, and I'll tell you guys why. Here's some examples of me using this build without the Zenny Star, and this is with the Orthos Prime. And this build completely wrecks. And the way how it's going to keep wrecking for you guys is that the setup of what you need is specialized elements on your melee weapon. So you do not ever want to run corrosive if you're running this build. You do not ever want to run radiation if you're running this build, and that's the Galatine Prime. It completely wrecks them super quick and efficiently. And this is the dual Ikers. And so this one wrecks them super fast as well. Enemies just get completely wrecked. Now, I've tested this build up to level 500 on every single element. Now, the 3 elements that you will use on this weapon will be gas, you would use viral, or you would use toxin. And I mean just gas by itself, just viral by itself, and just toxin by itself. The toxin build is actually really enjoyable, really fun as well. So if you ever want to feel like I don't want to keep using gas, you can switch between those 3 builds and they work exceptionally well. So those are the 3 elements that you would have on your melee weapon. Now, with that being said, your primary weapon should be viral. Your primary weapon should definitely be viral, and in vice versa. So if your melee weapon is going to be gas, your primary weapon should be viral, because then you're going to be hitting them with your primary weapon, dropping their health after you've already stripped their armor, and then after that, gas is going to take away the rest of their health anyway, or you can go toxin, whichever one. So you figure out which type of way you would like to set up your weapons, and you definitely do that. So that's the personalized way on how I play. This is how I do solos with Ash up to 3 hours plus, and I will definitely be doing another one soon. So here's the other thing, guys. Seeking Shuriken, like I was saying previously, is that it goes through enemies. Seeking Shuriken naturally has punch through, but regular Shuriken without the augment has some kind of withdraw to it, that if you go negative range, then the Shurikens does not go as far. But if you put on Seeking Shuriken cancels it out to where range does not affect it, and that's why it has the name Seeking Shuriken, because it searches out targets for you even from a larger distance, to where regular Shuriken wouldn't have not even hit the targets because your range is so small. So the thing about this is that if enemies are lined up in a group, you throw a shuriken, you can hit up to 6, 7, 8 enemies at a time, depending on if they're lined up or not, or if they're in a big group, because shuriken is just going to go through all of them anyway. And you do not need to cast this move more than once. You just throw it one time and their armor is completely stripped, as long as you have 145 power strength, and that is all you need. Now on this, Seeking Shuriken is a duration based ability. So it's duration based, meaning that their armor isn't stripped permanently. It's a timer on how long their armor will be stripped until it comes back. And the way how you can figure that out is that when you throw Seeking Shuriken, base it off of your invisibility. So if you have an 18-second invisibility, the enemy's armor will be off for 18 seconds, which is more than enough time to completely strip the armor. And remember, Ash throws 2 shurikens, so you can hit up to 2 enemies at one time, or up to at least 8 or 9 enemies at one time, depending on if they're in a group or not. And like I've said, this build completely keeps up your your KPS, which is your kills per second, and it's amazing to keep up life support. So it's fantastic. So let's take a look at the build. This is a 2-forma build, but overall, honestly, you only need 1 forma with a regular Ash if you do not have his prime. I love Steel Charge on Ash because of the extra damage bonus that it gives to his Blade Storm, and overall just the extra damage that it gives to my melee period. Seeking Shuriken is there. You only need Intensify and Power Drift, and then everything else is just personal fit. I like Prime Flow there, but you can take off Prime Flow if you would like to put on let's just say any other mod that you feel comfortable with. You can take off Prime Flow long as you're running generic. But remember, you are going to be spamming shurikens when you start getting up into the 600-700 high levels, because there's going to be so many enemies coming at you that you're going to want to just keep spamming shuriken, get their armor down, and make it easier for you to keep killing. Now with this conjunction, to personalize this build, the way on how I like to use this build is that I like to use a primary weapon which has an AoE hit to it. So if the primary weapon, like the Czar, my Czar has a 8.4 crit multiplier with over 90% status chance. So this is a status crit weapon, and the Czar was just laying enemies out the entire time. It was ridiculous after I stripped their armor with so much crit damage that I was doing, and the Czar was hitting them with all of the status chance, which just kept reprocking in a huge area. Now with weapons like this that I would suggest, you can use the Sinoid Simulor, you can use the Czar, you can use any weapon, the Quanta Vandal, you can use any weapon that has high status chance to make your job just that much easier. And remember guys, this is my personal way of playing. I just wanted to share it with you guys because people always ask me on how I do my solos and what is my setup, and this is my setup. And overall, this is my strongest Ash build overall. It worked great in a team play, and it works fantastically in solo. I've shown it on stream multiple times to where I'm in team play and we're just completely wrecking through armor anyway, going past enemies and going late into the 4 or 5 hour runs. So that is just amazing. So overall, I really do hope that you guys enjoy the video. Now, narrow-minded is really up to you. I don't want to have a max narrow-minded, because overall the max narrow-minded for me messes up my other builds, and I know a lot of people have different conjunctions of different mods to how they have different rankings. So if you do have a max one, you can try it out with a max one, but overall I would say have as much duration as possible. Seeking Shuriken 145. Your primary, personally for me, I would always go viral. My melee, I would either go gas or toxin, and you can lock down all enemies. Now this build, how does it work with the Atarax? With the Atarax, this thing just completely wrecks because of all the slash damage that you do with the Atarax. And guys, do remember, if you want to go Atarax or Galatine Prime, you can, because Ash's passive gives him that extra duration based on status, slash procs. So overall, you would be doing more ridiculous damage. I hope that you guys enjoyed the video. Be sure to look at the end of the video to tell me which Ash you like best. I have a question that you guys would actually I would love for you guys to answer for me at the end of the video, and it's really awesome. So it's all 4 different Ashes: Fatal, Blade Storm, Arcane Fury, Seeking Shuriken, Smokescreen, all of that. So As always, guys, thank you guys so much for the love and support, and I'll just keep bringing out more content for you guys. Have an amazing day. Listen, we got to keep Ash alive. I will definitely do it. You guys know he is hands down my favorite frame, so this is where you will get everything Ash that you would need. All right, guys, so take care, and I'll catch you guys later on the next Warframe video. Be sure to leave a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video, and share the video also if you also enjoyed it. Thank you.